Endgame has passed the record for the total worldwide opening weekend money. It has passed Infinity War. Endgame has got an estimated amount of money right now that can be confirmed of $744 million. Okay, so $744 million confirmed right now. That is not the amount of money at this exact point in time. This is the amount of money that has been reported at this point in time. The actual amount of money is much higher than this, but $744 million is what I can confirm is actually what it has got from its box office. That obviously absolutely hammers the $640 million previous record, and we've got, a bit of time to go still, so it's going to go much above that. Now, a few days ago, the number of articles talking about maybe we can get a $1 billion weekend, they kind of increased a bit. Now there's sort of articles quoting, quote-unquote inside sources saying 1.1 billion. So 1.1 billion is now being sort of talked about for what it may in fact get for the opening weekend, which does include a few more days than the weekend. But anyway, $1.1 billion, that's what a bit of talk is right now. So if we look at a box office mojo or the numbers.com or a few of the other sort of big sites like that, they're all saying it's got $643.7 million. It's saying $156.7 million from its opening day, which is the Thursday and the Friday, and $487 million internationally. So where am I getting this extra money from? If we look at where the actual international numbers are coming from or what the international numbers are, we've got $487 million estimated, and $217.4 million of that they're saying comes from China. And so there is another $270 million from all the other countries. So if we rip out the Chinese money and we just say, okay, we've got $270 million. And then we have the 156 or 157 or 158, depends where you look, for the opening weekend from North America. I'll just call it 157. So we've got 157 from North America. We've got 270 from foreign countries. And we've got a more current number out of China of $315 million. So China got just under $300 million by the end of Saturday night. I think it's about $297 million. And it's got another $16 million so far for Sunday. So this is a early Sunday progress report. So 315. So if we add all them together, if we add this Chinese total together with all the other foreign countries together with the North American money, that's how we get the $744 million. Again, the number is way beyond that. That's just what you can confirm with what they're saying the numbers are. The international numbers take forever to come in, and we've only got the Friday money from North America officially reported. So later on in quite a few hours' time, we will get the North American Saturday estimates, and we'll probably get a Sunday estimate at the same time, but it will be an estimate before Sunday starts. But that's, Sundays, generally speaking, very easy to predict compared to other days once you have a Friday and a Saturday in. But we are in uncharted territory here. So any Sunday prediction is very suspicious because it could just be in or out. It could be up or down by millions of dollars. But nonetheless, $744 million confirmed right now, international box office, smashing the $640 million. And if we take off the North American money, we get $587 million confirmed from the foreign box office so far. And if we look at the records, it is number one now. So The Fate of the Furious, the previous record holder, $443 million. That's been absolutely smashed, and there's more money to come in. So it has beaten the total worldwide gross money. It has beaten the foreign total opening weekend gross money. It is going to beat the US domestic money, but that is not confirmed at all. But every single estimate says it'll shatter the 257 or 259 record. So that's gone, but it's not gone officially yet. We're not quite got enough money. We're getting there. It's beaten the opening day record that Force Awakens had. It's beaten the biggest day record. It's beaten the $82 million, which Infinity War had for Saturday. It beat it on the Friday. So it's basically beaten all the records. I did have a video maybe only a week ago saying, can it beat all four records? Yep, it's done it. They're all gone. Now, the North American one isn't confirmed done yet, but it's done. So it has broken every record, and it's absolutely pretty much shattered them all. The only record it hasn't actually shattered, but it did beat, was the advanced screenings money. So the advanced screening record was $57 million for The Force Awakens, or 59 with inflation, and Infinity War reportedly got $60 million. So that isn't really smashing the advanced screenings. It's still the most money ever, which is excellent, but it is not as good as all of the other good news. So everything else is getting absolutely hammered. Advanced screenings were kind of just online with what The Force Awakens did, which was the record holder. Now, it's possible the $60 million may be out, and it may actually drop down. So it's still in the realm of possibilities that it won't actually have the most advanced screening money. It may drop down by a couple of $1 million and go under The Force Awakens. Or if it drops by, say, $500,000, it may go under The Force Awakens with inflation. So that is one record that it hasn't just completely smashed without a doubt. Could be possible that the advanced screenings record may still be held by The Force Awakens. So going forward, what kind of other records have we got here? Well, we've got the Saturday record here on Box Office Mojo. We got Avengers Infinity War, $82 million, biggest Saturday ever. It should beat that. Okay, got $97 million on Friday. It should outdo the $97 million from Friday, and it should really get over $100 million if it's not looking fantastic, as silly as that sounds. So if it gets the same ratio between Friday and Saturday as Infinity War got, it'll get something like $125 million. So the $82 million, yep, that's looking like that record will be gone. We've got the Sunday record, $69 million from Infinity War. Yep, that should definitely be gone as well. Now, if that record isn't gone, that's the first sign of trouble for the box office. The box office will still be huge no matter what, but if it doesn't actually go above that $69 million, that means it's kind of doing a Batman v Superman, and it's absolutely tanking. Now, the word of mouth I've seen, and sort of anecdotal stuff I've seen, and sort of bits of the reviews I've seen, are all saying the film's good to excellent. So there aren't all these massive number of reviews going, oh my god, this is horrible, don't check it out. So it's going to beat that. Okay, it's going to beat $69 million. It's not going to tank like Batman v Superman. And the next record, the one I didn't think it probably had a chance of doing, but after seeing this, I think it can, is the Monday record. Now, I thought the Monday record holder was actually The Force Awakens, because The Force Awakens had an absolutely excellent Monday, but the record holder is actually the Black Panther. It has got slightly more money than what The Force Awakens got. If we put inflation on, Force Awakens will be slightly ahead. But the very fact that Black Panther managed $40 million makes me think that it is possible that Endgame could beat it. Now, it may very well be that that was on a holiday. I'm not 100% sure if that was on a holiday and it boosted it up, but just the fact that an MCU film has got the record makes me think that, well, Endgame can beat an MCU film, surely. But if Force Awakens was a record holder, I would have thought that it would be very difficult to do, but it isn't a record holder. You can see Infinity War down number 10 there, 24 million. So, yeah, the fact that Black Panther is the biggest Monday ever, completely possible that Endgame will also be the biggest Monday ever, something I didn't even think would have been possible. We've also got the total grosses for a number of days. So we've got the opening week. We've got Star Wars The Force Awakens has got $390 million for the opening week. I think that's in trouble right now. So I would have said just after the $60 million on the Thursday that was reported that Star Wars Force Awakens weekday money was so good that the total week amount, even if it got beaten for the opening weekend, would still be bigger. But right now, people are talking about it might get $360 million on the weekend, and 300 is now the low estimate most people are saying now. So they're not saying, will it hit 300? 300 is happening. So we're getting $300 million for the opening weekend. Can it get another $90 million over the week? Yeah, it probably can. So it's probably going to beat Star Wars Force Awakens' biggest week. 3-day gross, it's the new record holder. It's going to beat that. 4-day gross, it'll do the 4-day gross in 3 days. 5-day gross, it might do the 5-day gross in 3 days. It might happen, but it'll do it in 4. So it'll be the 5-day gross champ. 6-day gross, it probably won't do that in 3 days, but it'll do that in 4, maybe 5 days. And yeah, again, then we're on 7-day gross. So I think at this stage, it probably should have the new weekly gross record, but it'll at least be the 6-day record. It has to have the 6-day record the way it's going. After that, we need to see what the next Friday box office gives us for legs. So will it maintain money or will it dry off a lot? It's hard to tell whether it can beat this 10-day gross. Is it going to beat the Star Wars Force Awakens for $540 million in 10 days? Right now everything's pointing to yes because it's going so well, but that's so far away still. So that's, who knows if it can sustain this ridiculous amount of money. And then these records here, they're virtually the same, but they're a little bit different. We have the fastest to a certain amount of money. So fastest to 100, it's done that. 150, 200, 250, 300, and 350, it'll get that. So it's going to be the fastest film to 350. Will it be the fastest to 400? I mean, I think it looks like it will, but I guess that's a little question. Will it do it in 8 days or not, and so on? Is it going to be the fastest to 500 million? So again, I think it probably should at this point in time, but it depends on the longevity, what can it do during the weekdays. But they're a few records coming up to look at, so it's going to get quite a lot of those, more than half of those. And the other half, it's on track to get them, but can it get them? The Force Awakens just had a ridiculous weekday run. But I suppose if Endgame does in fact beat Black Panther for the biggest Monday ever, then yes, all of these are gone. So on Monday, we'll find out if these records are all going to drop. And after that, we're really running out of stuff to try to compare it to in the North American market. Okay, the total gross is obviously something to look at going forward. Can it beat The Force Awakens total gross, which is still way out there? That is still a big question mark. That is definitely not look at all the money we've got, therefore that's happening. That is still not really definitely happening at all. but it should probably beat Avatar's non-inflation money for North America. So I think Avatar was something around $760 million without inflation. That's really looking like that has to go. So it's going to be the second biggest film, I think, at this early stage in North America without inflation. Can it beat The Force Awakens? I still think that's a tough ask right now to say. It can, sure, but it's a big ask. Once we get the Friday box office numbers from next Friday, that's when we'll really know if it's a possibility or not. But at this stage, it's really early to tell, are people going to go see this film again? And are there a whole pile of people that haven't seen it yet that will go to see Endgame? Here we've got the opening weekend records for North America, but not the opening weekend totals as of date. These are the records as they fell. So you can see down the bottom here we have Star Trek the Motion Picture from 1979. It held the record of $11.9 million. And as we go up the list, we can see which one actually took the number one spot. So again, these aren't a list of the top box offices. These are who had the record at the time. We can see the current record, Infinity War at the top, 257, and the one it beat, 247. Then 208. So it was a bit of a gap between Jurassic World and The Force Awakens, and they were only about 6 months apart when they got released. So that was a bit of a bump up. What we're looking at now is $300 to $350 million, perhaps. That's quite a bump up again from the $257 million. But it's really not that much. I mean, it is, but it's not that much bigger than Jurassic World to The Force Awakens. I mean, it's a bigger gap, but percentage-wise, it's not that much of a bigger thing. So Jurassic World had a record, and then The Force Awakens beat that record by quite a lot. Well, that's really what we're looking at now. So Infinity War is going to get beaten by quite a lot, but it's not such a ridiculous percentage that we've not really seen it before, but it is quite rare. The other one that has a really big gap is The Return of the Jedi and Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. So the third bottom and fourth bottom ones on the list. $14 million to $23 million. So that's a massive jump. So Return of the Jedi, I mean, when that came out, they must have went, geez, it made $23 million, way more than the $14 million the previous record holder. Who'll beat that? And then the next year, $25 million. So, right now it looks like nothing's ever going to beat this money Endgame's doing. But this has all happened before. Films have made ridiculously more money than other films, and someone a few years later has went and made more money. So right now, who knows what could beat this, but it'll get beaten, and particularly if you don't put inflation on. Okay, inflation will erode the money away to be meaningless so that it has to get beaten. But, this has happened before, not that often, but there have been big leaps in the opening weekends. This is a big new leap. So a couple of years' time, maybe it'll get beaten by something we've never heard of. But at this stage, it's absolutely smashing everything. We're waiting to see what the North American market reports for Saturday. What are the actual official Saturday estimates? Are we looking like the low 100 millions, or are we looking at the plus 130 million? Is that the range we're going to get for Saturday? Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.